Welcome back. At the start of chapter 5 of Mark's Gospel is an interesting story. And as you hear it, put yourself back in the place of the first listeners. Remember that the Roman legions are occupying your country. And remember that you are a Jewish peasant. Emphasis here on both. I'm going to start with the peasant part. You're poor, you're expected to work to pay your taxes. You often don't have the money to do it. And things have been going like this for a couple generations. People are just getting worse and worse off. Now let's go back to the Jewish part. Remember that pork and pigs are completely anathema. They are the thing you don't want anything to do with. If you touch them, just touch a pig, you become ritually impure. So, listen to this story in this. I'll just put it out there. Chapter 5. So they arrived at the other side of the lake, in the country of the Gerasenes. As Jesus was getting out of the boat, a man in the grip of an evil spirit rushed out to meet him from among the tombs where he was living. It was no longer possible for any human being to restrain him, even with a chain. Indeed, he had frequently been secured with fetters and lengths of chain, but he had simply snapped the chains and broke the fetters in pieces. No one could do anything with him. All through the night, as well as in the daytime, he screamed among the tombs and on the hillside and cut himself with stones. Now, as soon as he saw Jesus in the distance, he ran and knelt before him, yelling at the top of his voice, "What have you got to do with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? For God's sake, don't torture me." For Jesus had already said, "Come out of this man, you evil spirit." Then he asked him, "What is your name?" "My name is Legion," he replied, "for there are many of us." Then he begged and prayed him not to send them out of the country. A large herd of pigs was grazing there on the hillside, and the evil spirits implored him, "Send us over to the pigs, and we'll get into them." So Jesus allowed them to do this, and they came out of the man and made off and went into the pigs. The whole herd of about 2,000 stampeded down the cliff into the lake and was drowned. The swineherds took to their heels and spread their story in the city and all over the countryside. Then the people came to see what had happened. As they approached Jesus, they saw the man who had been devil-possessed sitting there properly clothed and perfectly sane, the same man who had been possessed by Legion. And they were really frightened. Those who had seen the incident told them what had happened to the devil-possessed man and about the disaster to the pigs. Then they began to implore Jesus to leave their district. As he was embarking on the small boat, the man who had been possessed begged that he might go with him. But Jesus would not allow this. "Go home to your own people," he told him, "and tell them what the Lord has done for you and how kind he has been to you." So the man went off and began to spread throughout the 10 towns the story of what Jesus had done for him. And they were all simply amazed. One little comment. Notice that's the first time in this gospel that Jesus hasn't told anybody to keep it to themselves. He actually told this guy, go tell everybody. I wonder what the difference was. Something to think about.